Hey everyone, welcome to Multifamily Mixtape. I am Mark Sharp. I really appreciate you all tuning in today as we close out the series on tackling the toughest mental health challenges. This has been a 3-part series. Today's episode will be the third and final part of this mental health challenge. These challenges that affect the mental health and multifamily maintenance. Episode 1, just a little brief recap, was the top 5 factors affecting mental health and multifamily maintenance. And those top 5 factors were the high stress levels, which include our demanding work environment and unpredictable workload. The second factor is physical strain and fatigue, which covers constant movement, diverse tasks. Third factor, lack of work-life balance, on-call duties, peak season work. Fourth factor would be limited recognition and support, underappreciation by residents and management, and minimal mental health resources. And then the fifth one would be the exposure to hazards, safety risks, environmental challenges, and resident interactions. Yes, that was a hazard. Dealing with frustrated or difficult residents can create emotional stress, especially when maintenance issues cannot be resolved immediately. So those are your top 5 factors that affect mental health and multifamily maintenance. The top 5 coping strategies, which was our last episode. Strategy number 1 is to develop a routine for stress management. Practice deep breathing, meditation during breaks, doing whatever you can to set aside time for hobbies or relaxation after work. Strategy number 2 is to stay physically active. Regular exercise, even if it's light, can help manage stress and improve sleep. Stretching before and after shifts can relieve tension and prevent injury. That's a good one. I don't stretch enough. I should. So me personally, I will start to try to work on the staying physically active side of this. Strategy number 3, seek support. This could be hard. This could be difficult because a lot of maintenance, typically male-dominated side of it, although there are loads of females getting into the maintenance industry, maintenance side of things, which I love, but seeking support, talking to coworkers, talking to friends, talking to family about challenges, while it can help, would also be hard, I think, for a lot of men in this industry. So that could be a difficult one, but hopefully not. As long as there are environments where workers can feel safe talking and not be judged for their words, I think we'll see a change. But looking into local or online support groups for maintenance or trade workers, and I'd like to add the word good in there. I'm sure there are lots of local support groups or online support groups, but you want to find a good one, not one that just turns into a giant bitch session that can trail off into 100 different directions, because that's not what we need. That's going to make things worse. Okay. So seek support, do it the right way. 4 would be to prioritize your work-life balance. Establish boundaries where you can. I would love to be able to say that you no longer have to take call. I can't do that. The industry needs it, and there's no way it's ever going away. So, but try to establish some type of boundary. Have a clear definition on what is an emergency and what you should be interrupted for. Okay? A lot of the interruptions that we receive outside of work are not emergencies, but it's still an interruption. And I think Paul Rhodes had on his podcast recently, he broke down the cost of on-call. And during that study, it said that it's roughly 20 minutes between an interruption. I'm sorry, Paul, if I'm butchering your stat. I'm so sorry, but I think I got it, or I think I'll get it right. But I'm home. I'm having dinner with my family. My phone rings for an emergency. After resolving or after determining whether it's an emergency or not, say it's not for this instance, it's not an emergency. It's now going to take me 20 minutes to get caught back up to what I was doing. All right. My food is now cold. The conversation at the table is now cold. My kids have gone off to their rooms because they're done eating now. So, and that's every single time. So every time the phone rings, 20 minutes. Now, if I do have to leave to go do something, I fix that work, I fix the issue, I get back home 20 minutes before I can actually get back home. So try to establish boundaries, really dive into your on-call procedures to determine what is an emergency. All right. Taking scheduled time off to rest and spend time with your loved ones. This is a big one because I don't think any of us take off the time we need. I know a lot of people try to take vacations, throughout the year, but I think most of our industry, it's this last, 30, 45 days of the year, there's a lot of unused time and people are scrambling to take their time off, and it's the end of the year and well, everyone can't get gone. And so can't get gone. I apologize. Can't be gone from work. So use your time, use it strategically, use it wisely, but take your time. And when you're off, if you can, turn your phone off, leave your computers out of office. Trust me, the work will be there when you get back. Okay. Designate someone to make decisions on your behalf to a certain level. Okay. Number 5 for the coping strategies was to focus on nutrition and sleep. Eat balanced meals, stay hydrated during shifts to maintain your energy levels. Aim for consistent sleep patterns, even if you are working irregular hours. That's a big one. Nutrition and sleep. Nutrition and sleep, huge. You don't really think about how those things affect you during the day, but it is massive. If your body is underprepared to deal with the physical work that you have to do, you will be miserable. You will be in pain. Some of us live in a constant state of pain because we don't know any different. But if you start feeding your body properly, your body will reward you by being prepared for the day. Okay? Take care of yourself. All right. That would close out the coping strategies. So now let's dive into the workplace initiatives for employers. And I've got my sidekick screen up over here because a lot of this I've started typing out. So excuse me if I'm glancing like this. Initiative number 1, according to OSHA and Mental Health America, provide mental health training and resources. And you can do that by training supervisors to recognize signs of burnout or distress and offering employee assistance programs or EAPs that include counseling and stress management resources. On the burnout and distress side of things, burnout is a state of mental, physical, and emotional exhaustion that can be caused by work-related or any other type of stress. Signs of burnout can include emotional exhaustion, feeling drained, tired, overwhelmed, having a lack of energy. Sleep issues, having trouble falling asleep or staying asleep. Changes in eating habits, loss of appetite or significant weight loss. Physical symptoms, headaches, stomach aches, chest pains, dizziness. Reduced performance, if you're having difficulty concentrating or lacking creativity. And then you've got alienation from work, feeling cynical about your job or colleagues, or becoming emotionally distant from work. Those are some signs of burnout. So we need to train our supervisors to recognize these, to hit them as soon as you can. Say, hey, I'm noticing some things. Please take a day off. All right. Not, hey, we're so swamped. I need you to get through this. Then we'll give you some time off. Give them the time that they need. All right. It's not that difficult. Give them the time that they need. And then offering employee assistance programs that include counseling or stress management resources. A lot of insurance companies now offer these types of services. So let's do some research. Let's make sure that those phone numbers and those contacts are out there for people to call, and let's promote it. It's not a bad thing, and it should never be perceived as a negative thing. If someone needs counseling, needs stress management resources, be proactive, recognize it, help facilitate the process, and let's take care of our people. Okay. That's initiative number 1. It's that important. Number 2, enhanced safety measures. regularly review safety protocols and provide the right tools to reduce stress from hazardous tasks, and offer ergonomic equipment to minimize physical strain. The regularly review safety protocols and provide the right tools to reduce stress, that's huge. And will become even bigger come January 1st, 2025, when the HVAC industry takes a massive hit and the Fortinet equipment starts to become less and less available, and we are forced to go over to the new flammable A2L refrigerants, R32, R454B. Those are going to require new tools. Some of the tools that you have may be rated for A2Ls, but if you've had them for any length of time, probably not. But check. But there will be new safety related tools that are necessary to work on these A2L refrigerants. So review those protocols, review your SOPs, and make sure you have something in place for flammable refrigerants. Because if you're just going to leave it up to the maintenance guy to figure it out, it's going to cause some distress. So check those things. Number 3, promote a positive work culture. Foster an environment where workers feel comfortable discussing challenges. This kind of goes back to one of the things we talked about before: limited recognition and support, the top 5 factors that affect mental health and multifamily maintenance. It's a lot to say. So create an environment where people will want to tell you that they're stressed, that they need help, but also promoting a positive work culture, recognizing and rewarding employees for their contributions. So I found a nice little article from Gallup and WorkHuman on this recognizing and rewarding employees. Okay, so I'm just going to read this to you straight from Gallup and WorkHuman's website. Okay. In previous research, Gallup and WorkHuman established an extensive connection between employee recognition and well-being, finding employees who receive the right amount of recognition for their work experience lower burnout, improved daily emotions, and stronger relationships with their coworkers. Okay? So people who receive the right amount of recognition experience lower burnout, improved daily emotions, and stronger relationships with their coworkers. That was in a previous study. They have since dug a little deeper and they've kind of expanded on that a little bit. So new research from Gallup and WorkHuman find that recognition and well-being together can pave the way for improved business outcomes. Specifically, when employees have thriving well-being and are experiencing the best recognition experiences possible, they're more likely to be a top performer and to feel like they're paid fairly, and are less likely to be actively looking or watching for job opportunities. However, the research finds the business benefits of high well-being are greatly enhanced by optimum recognition and are greatly damaged by poor recognition. I hope I don't have to read all that again. I hope that was pretty clear. Employers who recognize their employees properly, poll your people, figure out what the properly is, but you will experience lower burnout, improved daily emotions, and stronger relationships with your coworkers. You will also feel like, or they're more likely to become a top performer and feel like they're paid fairly. How many times in this industry you hear people, I don't get paid enough for that. I don't get paid enough for that. If they're being recognized, they may feel like they're being paid fairly, okay? And are less likely to be actively looking for a job. However, flip side of that, companies, employers who are not recognizing their employees, you greatly damage them by poor recognition. Okay. So recognizing and rewarding employees for their contributions is huge. It doesn't always have to be monetary. I mean, a nice handshake, a personalized email, a card, a letter. I love getting mail. I got a letter from Mike Brewer with MMN the other day, and it made my day. Just out of the blue. Just a letter, just a card. Had you work on your writing, Mike, But no, I loved it. I love mail. So it doesn't always have to be monetary, but it has to be consistent. So let's work on rewarding, recognizing, and rewarding your employees for their contributions. And then foster that environment where workers feel comfortable discussing challenges. Make it easy, make it comfortable, make it acceptable. Do not look down upon someone who has to raise their hand and say, I am burnt out and I need help. Okay. We should encourage that because it's out there. I promise you it's out there. Number 4, encourage flexible scheduling. Rotate shifts to avoid overworking certain employees. Allow for flexible start times or longer breaks when workloads are high. Again, some of this to a certain extent, working with flexible start times, I think could be huge for our industry. Your companies, this is free advice, okay? I'm not charging you for this. Your companies should do a test on the time of day you get the most emergency on call. And I would put a small amount of $1. I have $1 I can put towards this. That a lot of your emergency on-call time will come between 5 and 7 p.m. Here's an idea. Change someone's schedule so that they're working 10 to 7. That's just their normal everyday work schedule, 10 to 7. You'll cut down one on the number of emergency work orders you get because you will have someone on property who's there from 10 to 7. Have that be their normal shift. Have that be the shift of the person who is on call. So if you rotate call every week, rotate call every 2 weeks, whoever is on call works the 10 to 7 shift. And those extra 2 hours, the 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., will cut down on your emergency calls, your lockouts, I just got home from work and I noticed this, whatever. Like, y'all know the drill. You deal with it every day. That will cut down on your on-call costs. It'll also cut down on the stress from being home, being in your home atmosphere, going through your daily life with your family, whatever it is you do. It will cut down on those disruptions. Remember that 20 minutes I talked about with Paul earlier? We'll cut down on that. So having flexible start times, it's like, oh, well, there won't be anyone at the property to make sure that this person is working. If that's your response, you have the wrong people. I said it. If you don't trust your staff, you have the wrong people. So have flexible start times. 8 to 5, 9 to 6, 10 to 7, don't know. I even tested a schedule that was Tuesday through Saturday. And the weekend was Sunday, Monday. I had somebody take it and it worked. It worked. Having somebody that would just show up at 9 o'clock on Saturday, took care of the pools, opened the gates, checked the chemicals, walked the grounds, got the carts out, did all the stuff, but was there for those calls that would come in on a Saturday. It works, but you have to trust your people. And I did, and it worked. I mean, it was a good system. Worked great. So think about how to rotate those shifts or provide some type of flexible start time, because the answers are out there. You just need to do what works best for you and for your company. But there's an answer out there. So that was number 4, to encourage flexible scheduling. Number 5 for workplace initiatives for employers are to create relaxation spaces. Designate areas for workers to unwind during breaks. Offer amenities like comfortable seating, beverages, or wellness resources. Let your minds wander on that for a second. Designating areas for workers to unwind. What are we talking about? You talking about, a dark room with a comfy couch? That's up to you and your company. But some of the ideas that are out there are considering setting aside a lockable room. Focus on making the room a calm and relaxing space. At Mental Health America, we have a wellness room that any employee can use. The room contains lounge, sofa, weighted blankets, and low lighting. Employees can bring their phones and listen to relaxing music. Consider including a radio or other device that can quietly play calm music for employees who use it. So consider setting aside some type of lockable room. If you don't have a room to set aside for that, set aside a space, a common area. Some properties have model apartments. Go to that model, tell your office staff, it's offline for the next 30 minutes. Give me 30 minutes. Go in, although those models typically like smell of some scent. I don't know. That would drive me crazy. Smells bother me. But anyway, but there is an answer somewhere. There's an answer somewhere on providing a space to use for this. If you're a big management company, you've got a lot of sites, have each site try to determine what that space is. And you can also encourage employees to use their full breaks. Here, this next sentence is one of the things that I think would be the hardest. You're going to encourage your employees to use their full break. Now, you need to not disturb them while they're on their break. Hey, I know you're on break. However, hey, I know you just left, but no, leave them alone. Leave them alone. So create relaxation spaces. Designate areas for workers to unwind during breaks. Offer amenities like comfortable seating, beverages, or wellness resources. Weighted blanket. Yes, please. Let's go. Love those things. What do you think about those? I know this series I found it interesting. I've enjoyed doing the research on it, obviously. But, I would like to know what your thoughts are on the series, on the strategies and initiatives that were outlined by OSHA and Mental Health America. We're wrapping it up. I mean, this would be the Tackling the Toughest Mental Health Challenges series. This will be the end of our third episode and the end of this, but I'd like to know what you all think on the episodes. Did you find it insightful? Is there anything that you're going to try to put into place to help? Is there anything that your company is currently doing that is not on this list that helps? I would love to know it and love to continue to learn and see what other companies are doing to help their employees through whatever crisis their staff may be going through. I'd love to learn to see what companies are doing. I think it's great that these things are getting out there and that people are taking notice and putting making mental health days a priority. Like I said, I know of several companies who give their staff multiple mental health days a year. It's not attached to vacation or PTO or sick time. It's hey, you need a recharge day. Here you go. Take it. I love that. I think it's awesome. But what do you think? What could we as an industry do to help provide these resources or to make these resources more known? I'm sure they've been out there for a while, but they just haven't been known. So what do you think? All right. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, leave me a comment, get a hat. That's how it works. I have a few left. So I know Travis Everett got his hat because I handed it to him personally. Vinny Bertone shipped his out the other day. So anybody else wants a hat, got to leave a comment on YouTube. All right. Take care, y'all. See you on the next one.